You're watching the GameSpot co-op stage, sponsored by LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to E3 2016 here at the GameSpot co-op. Who do you like E3?
What did you just say?
Who do you like E3? Everybody just understands. They get it when you say it. I'm your host, Greg Miller from Kind of Funny. That's Colin from Kind of Funny. That is Chris Waters from GameSpot.com. How are you?
Yay.
What's up, Greg? Thanks for having us on your co-op stage.
Thanks for coming on the stage. This is a hot collabo we did last year, and this year it's going to be even hotter.
Yeah. We're taking off more clothes.
No, we're
and
not.
Also because we're kicking off with this gentleman, Herman Hulst. How are you, Herman?
Yeah.
Give me a hug. Herman, I love you so much. Herman, of course, everybody, from Guerilla Games, working on a little thing called Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's right. Tiny.
This demo.
Tiny little game.
Did you think about bringing something impressive to E3? Instead, you just bring this thing or walking around. No, it was awesome. Holy crap, was it awesome.
It was just a game. It's part of the game. It was part of a quest. It's not even a demo. I consider it our game.
That's the craziest part about it. You were saying earlier that, yeah, it's not, you didn't make a vertical slice, you didn't make a demo, you just opened up the world and let people into it.
Exactly. So last year we had that big boss fight and we had Aloy, our lead heroine, taking it on.
Yeah.
And this year we just wanted to concentrate on everything that's part of it. It's an open world, seamless open world. It's got RPG elements, throw in some new machines, a lot of new abilities for the player character. So we wanted to bring it all and kind of show you the game as we're going to play it. You're going to have some hands-on time because we've got it on the show floor here.
Oof. Let's get out of this as fast as possible.
That's got 2 minutes left.
So, Herman, I mean, coming into E3, you know, you won Kind of Funny's Game of the Show last time around with Horizon in your debut. Congratulations. Coming into this one, is that in your mind? You know you have to do something bigger and better than last time?
Not so much scoring the... Yeah, I want to win the award. But I think you realize that when you come out and you first announce that everybody's going to love it because it's great, and there is such a thing as kind of the second album, you need to prove that it's actually a game.
Sure.
And that's why we just came out simply with the game. It's what you saw at the press conference. I'm sure you watched the Sony press conference last night?
Yeah,
a little bit.
I caught it.
That's just basically a captured playthrough of the game, 7 minutes worth. That's what it is.
Now, you know, of course, Colin and I, fans of Guerrilla, fans of Horizon. Chris, what did you think of what you saw?
Of Horizon?
Yeah.
I mean, that was my game of the show last year, too.
All right, yeah! Whenever you want to leave this behind, Kind of Funny's got a spot for you.
Thanks, buddy. Killzone, I was a big Killzone multiplayer guy.
Yeah.
Warzone mode, it always baffled me why more developers did not steal that from you guys, because that just like changed that whole situation for me. But seeing the way you guys bring worlds to life, just the artistry, it astounded me last year, and it was exciting to see it in a different way, in sort of that more organic slice of the game way this year.
I think Horizon, because we talk about it a lot, how different it is for a studio, but there are a ton of similarities too, right? We do really take pride in creating these universes, and we do have machines in there, like the bots. There's a lot of guys on the team that are really great at building these fantastic mechs, and now the machines. And so obviously we're trying to have a beautiful world that leans on Guerrilla's pedigree and making great technology and great art. So we're really kind of building on what we learned with the Killzone franchise. It's not really that far a departure in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta carry through your knowledge and learn from what you guys super excelled at with Killzone and take on something entirely new. Speaking of entirely new, seeing the player tame the beast during the demo, that was a particular highlight for me, especially the animation touch. Did it like change sort of formation? Like it remade itself a little bit. And so I think that theme, sort of how these robots make themselves and present themselves, was something you played a lot with a lot more this time around.
Yeah. So you see in the game that we chose for a smaller, well, compared to these massive, giant, strong machines, we have a very agile and smart character, but she's outgunned, she's outpowered by these guys. So we gave her a couple of tools from the old ones, the old world tools, and one is that focus that she's got behind her ear, and that gives her a tactical advantage. She can scan, she can find out the weak spots, the strong spots to avoid, and she can do that, but she also has that spear, and she can override them, and she can either get the machines to fight alongside of her, but some of the machines she can actually use as mounts. It's just fun in an open world to just hop on a mount and cruise around and just explore the beautiful nature of it.
Absolutely. Did you get anybody sort of mo-capping, wrestling a yak to get that really dialed in?
Not yet, but that's a good idea. we get a yak.
I'll volunteer Colin. I'll send him over to Guerrilla to go do it for you.
You like yakking, right?
What's it been like to create a world with Killzone, which we've played all of them or whatever? It's an advanced world. It's a technological world. What was it like, kind of, with like creating the dissonance between this natural, overgrown, I guess, dystopian or post-apocalyptic kind of setting with these machines? Was it a challenge to kind of make those work together? Because what's so surprising to me about Horizon is that it makes sense when you look at it, but it shouldn't make sense. Like these machines walking through as if they're dinosaurs, people living very primitive lives, but somehow it works together. So was that a challenge, like thematically, to make that happen?
Frankly, last year when we came out with the first unveil, I feared a little bit that we were going to be laughed at, like of this gorgeous, beautiful nature, and then we throw in these machines. And it is the one thing, actually, and it surprises me to an extent, that nobody has a problem with connecting to it. Nobody thinks... I haven't really heard that from any of the fans or the people that are into games that comment on Twitter or whatever. That's a stretch from their imagination. They like that juxtaposition, that beautiful, lush nature, against and then in that those machines that are now the dominant life species. They really like that idea, which is great. People give us creative freedom, and they like it.
You're talking about freedom, and you're also trying to tell me that it's not that different. Killzone and Horizon. And all
there are a couple of differences.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Just making this open world RPG. I mean, like, did you, like, we want to make this game, we pitch this game, the game gets approved. At what point are you like, oh, fuck, whoa, God, what are we going to do?
Before the first pitch to PlayStation, probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it was, so what we actually did is we, amongst the team, when we completed Killzone 3, that was in 2011, we did a big round. We asked everybody in the studio, you could just pitch ideas.
Yeah.
And one of them was this particular concept that came out. And we're like, that's kind of crazy. Let's look at the other ones. And like, you know what? Let's go. It was quite appealing. Let's go back to it. And we just could not do it. We had to do it. There was so much in it. And people just fell in love with the concept. And they still are in love with the concept at the studio. And I think that's actually very empowering when you have a team that loves making what the current project is. It's really, really strong.
I mean, do you think one of the reasons they love it so much is the fact that they're getting to stretch their wings? You know what I mean? Every other cliche, right? Killzone is Killzone, and Killzone's awesome. And like, obviously, you guys did so much different when you brought it to the PlayStation 4. Yeah. But now to be in a new genre, even doing different things on that level, is that like freeing? I guess.
It's very energizing to do something that different, and also we were talking earlier about the tonality, the look of it, the grit versus the majestic beauty, the lush nature. That big delta, I think, is very empowering to the team. They like it a lot, and it's uncharted territory for us. We kind of don't know where it was going initially, and people love exploring. They love the freedom of a very different looking character. The enemies are very different in it. There's so much newness. People generally like newness, and that's the same in our studio.
Yeah. Colin.
Yeah. I feel like, you had mentioned that after Killzone 3, 2011, you guys kind of move on to this idea. Yeah. You guys also making Shadowfall at the same time. How did you have to kind of craft the team specifically to like kind of move over to this kind of game? Seems like obviously these games were developed concurrently, and you have people that know how to make a first-person shooter. Did you have to hire writers? Did you have to hire like a different staff to kind of, or a different group of people to kind of, I guess, combine with your staff to make this game possible?
Yeah, we actually branched off the core team of Killzone 3, and Killzone Shadowfall was a new core team that created that title. So it's the old Killzone 2 and 3 crew that had creative leadership and production leadership on it. And then we hired new genres, new disciplines that we didn't have on the team. A writer group. We have 5 writers on staff at the moment with experience in this kind of game, but also Quest folks from established, obviously, developers. And that, I think we've been recruiting. We started doing that about 4 years ago, and since about 2.5 years ago, we have a complete team. So we have all those sort of the missing links. Right. We've had that. They're now part of the core team as well.
Do you feel like, and this is something I've been saying about this game since we saw it last year, and I reiterated it again, if this is executed properly, this strikes me as Sony's next big exclusive franchise. And is that something that you guys are hoping, like, is the lore so deep in the game that you guys hope that, like, well, let's cut this out of the game in hopes that we make, a second and a third one in the next 5 or 10 years?
That's a big question. We're working on something that has the lore really asks for deeper exploration, and we love it a lot. There's certainly room to do more. But it's going to be hard enough to get the game out, and we're now very committed to the launch date of February 28, 2017, and that's a promise. But yeah, there's certainly plenty of depth in this world, in this universe to explore it further.
Perfect.
Well, speaking of challenges, looking at the gameplay demo, one of the most challenging things that seems to me from a development perspective, and then just sort of getting the player balance right, is Aloy's skill set. As a player, it seems, you compare to the stuff you could do in Killzone as he chose different classes, there was a lot on the table, but this is one character, but she can do so much depending on her different tools, and they combine in different ways, in different environments, against different creatures. So that core skill set seems to be one of the real big pillars. It must have been, in terms of your design initiative.
Well, it's a role-playing game, so part of a role-playing game is that you progress your character. And what we showed, I forget which exact level she is in the capture that we showed at the press conference. I think she's a level 12. That means that she has unlocked certain skills that you can choose. And one example is the concentration mode, where she's able to slow down the game. So she's got a lot more precision in her attacks. The other one that I see in there is a silent strike. So she takes out one of those watchers by just gliding underneath it and stabbing it, and it's a one-strike kill. So these are skills that you don't necessarily begin with, but up to your flavor, whatever you like first. These are the ones that you can pick and build out your character.
Well, so speaking of these skills, that's one of the ways that an open world game will sort of gate areas. You can't go over this mountain pass because you don't have the ability to harness the creature that'll take you over it. Yep. There's other ways to do that. You can have narrative, sort of. Well, we're only going to this town once the story takes us there. How are you guys sort of dealing with that gating of open world stuff? To what extent are you unlocking new worlds as the player progresses?
So it is very much a seamless open world, but we are maybe a little bit early to give you the exact game structure of it. Sure. But we're making sure that you're getting very competent with your initial set of abilities and what you learn first before you venture in. But from the get-go, the world is quite open. We want it that way.
Yeah, I want it that way.
Yeah, of course. When you're talking about unlocking these new abilities, sliding under precision, is it one that by the end of the game will Colin&I's character look similar, like we will have unlocked all the same stuff? Or is it that there's so much to do as you begin unlocking it, Colin's going to be focused on archery, I'm going to be focused on melee, there'll be a different feel?
I think the game allows for a lot of different play styles. I mean, it might be that you explore, you're more a stealth kind of person. No, he's more a stealth kind of person.
He is.
You're more gung-ho, probably, right?
Accurate.
Accurate, right? I don't know.
Like a good read.
But it really is there's a lot of player choice there. Not everybody will play this game a similar way, and not everybody will do everything. You gravitate towards your interests.
Are you comfortable talking about, like, open world RPGs? I think there's a big gamut of, this is, or an open world game generally, this could take, Dying Light could take 20 hours. Skyrim could take 100 hours. How big is this game? Like, do you guys have internally or in your own mind how long this game will take someone to beat, or are you guys not comfortable talking about all that kind of stuff yet?
It's so the main quest line is very rich, it's extensive. I don't have any hours to share with you, but there's a lot of sub and side quest stuff happening as well. There's a lot of general just open world stuff and systems coming in that we'll talk about at a later date, but there's a ton to do. You'll be able to spend a lot of time in this game.
Because I guess what I'm saying is I'm so excited about it that I already don't want it to end.
Yeah, I know, right? When you finally get there, you want to play, you don't want it to end. Colin, we've come to the end already of this. Is there anything else you want to do? Or
absolutely. Help me open this. Can you help me open this contraption here?
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
unprecedented second year in a row.
You're giving one of your Game
One
of the
of my Game of the Show awards to Horizon again.
Oh!
Congratulations.
This is before I had a beard. We probably should have done different art. I've had a beard for 2 years. Nonetheless.
One thing kind of funny is it's lazy.
Right.
We're not.
So Herman, I present you the Colin Moriarty seal of approval once again.
Thank you so much.
Don't let me do it again next year.
Exactly.
Yeah, well.
When's the game out, Herman? When's the game coming?
February 28th, 2017.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Herman, that's Horizon. Of course, we want you to go play it when it comes out, and we want you to stay right here. GameSpot.com has all sorts of cool E3 videos, and so does YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. So go there, check it all out. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Yeah.